referring to when you were talking about the girl that got abused and like
Yes.
why people ask like why do these bad things happen if God exists? So I understand the point you made there, but I'm wondering like what about bad things that happen that humans don't have control over, like natural disasters? Like why does that happen?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Well, this is a fallen world, and bad things do happen. Now, we wouldn't know they were bad unless there was a standard of good, so this doesn't disprove God, because again, He is the standard of good. But why does God allow a natural disaster to occur? And there are several possible answers to this. But let me ask the question from another perspective. Let's suppose that in this life, nobody could die, nobody could get hurt until the age of 80. You know, you were indestructible to the age of 80. What kind of world would this be? I think we'd be completely reckless. I think we wouldn't care about anyone or anything. I think we'd be even more selfish than we already are, and it wouldn't be till about 79 and a half that we'd go, maybe I ought to start thinking about others, maybe I ought to start thinking about God, maybe I ought to get some insurance here, right? We don't always know why God allows a bad thing, but we know why we don't know. God is infinite, and we're finite. We can see this much of reality. God can see it all. And so God can allow a bad thing to happen, and we might not see the positive outcome in the future, but God can. In fact, we actually see this in the Scriptures. This is sometimes called the ripple effect. You guys know about the ripple effect? That an event now ripples forward into the future to affect millions, if not billions, of other events. In the Old Testament, Joseph is sold into slavery by his brothers. He later rises to prominence in Egypt after going through a lot of suffering. He puts a lot of grain aside, and he is in a position to then help his brothers when they try and escape a famine from Israel. And when he sees his brothers who sold them into slavery, he doesn't say, "You dirty rats, you're going to pay now." He says, "What you meant for evil, God meant for good, the saving of many lives." So basically what he was saying is that the event, the evil that they did to him, rippled forward into the future to actually help him and them later. That ripple we can't always see. People ask me, why does say a baby die? Well, I can't tell you why a particular baby dies. I can tell you why babies in general dies, because we live in a fallen world. But maybe a baby dying today ripples forward into the future to, in some way, contribute to a great evangelist 500 years from now who saves millions of people. If that baby hadn't have died, then maybe that evangelist wouldn't have risen up and saved 500 million people, however many he does. We can't see that ripple. God can. Now, in the Old Testament, we saw that ripple. Joseph saw it in his lifetime. So while we can't answer why specific things happen all the time, we know why we can't answer. There's something there known as the ripple effect.